Have you ever wondered how a wild, untouched land, where wolves howled louder than church bells and ancient tribes roamed free, became the most powerful country on Earth? How a handful of farmers, blacksmiths, and dreamers dared to challenge the mightiest empire the world had ever seen and actually won? They didn't know they were making history. They just wanted a better life. This isn't just history. It's a rebellion that became an idea powerful enough to reshape the world. 2.5 centuries ago, America wasn't a country, it was just a land full of questions. A land of hope and hunger, of freedom and fear, of people escaping kings, religions, and poverty, all seeking something they couldn't even name, a chance. They didn't know what was coming, but they were ready to fight. No one called it the American dream, but that dream was forming in the smoke of revolution, in the whispers of men who refused to bow, and in the cries of a people who believed that liberty wasn't a privilege, it was a right. But freedom had a price, and the bill would be written in blood. And the world was about to watch a miracle born in fire, because what was coming next would test everything they believed in. From the icy fields of Massachusetts to the heart of Philadelphia, the first sparks of revolution were about to ignite. And when the first shots rang out, the world would never be the same. The colonies were angry, fed up with taxes on tea, paper, and even small stamps that felt like chains on their hands. People whispered in taverns and streets, "No taxation without representation," and that simple phrase started a fire no king could put out. The Boston Tea Party made history, colonists dumping crates of tea into icy harbor waters, daring Britain to respond. And respond it did, sending soldiers into towns, turning neighbors against each other overnight. George Washington, a quiet but determined man, gathered a ragtag army of farmers, merchants, and runaway slaves. People who had never held a gun but were ready to risk everything for freedom. No one thought they could win, not even their own soldiers. But sometimes the smallest sparks ignite the biggest fires. They fought through freezing winters where snow cut their faces, hunger gnawed at their bones, sickness struck without mercy, and betrayal lurked in the shadows. Every win gave hope. Every loss tested their hearts. From the first shot at Lexington to battles across the countryside, America's heart was beating faster, and a nation was being born not on paper, but through bravery and sacrifice. As cannons roared and flags rose in defiance, one truth became clear. Freedom wasn't given, it had to be fought for, and the world would be watching. The war was won, but the fight wasn't over. The colonies were free from Britain, but they were not yet united. They had independence, yes, but chaos, debt, and arguments threatened to tear them apart. Leaders gathered in Philadelphia, men like James Madison and Benjamin Franklin, debating day and night in stuffy rooms, candlelight flickering, quills scratching across paper stacks, writing laws that could hold a whole nation together. It wasn't easy, every choice carried risk. They called it the Constitution, a plan for a country that didn't exist yet. The debate was fiery. Some wanted strong central power, others feared it would become another empire. Every compromise felt like a gamble. Slowly, they built a system to protect liberty, balance power, and give people a voice. They didn't build a perfect nation, but they built one that could grow, change, and endure. They wrote down rights and made laws to protect them. Freedom wasn't just a dream anymore, it had a home on paper, ready to be tested in the real world. And as the ink dried on those historic documents, a quiet truth emerged, whispering through the halls of the new nation. America's strength would not come from wealth or armies alone, but from ideas, courage, and the willingness to keep fighting for what was right. After the Constitution, America had a new direction: growth, land, and opportunity. People looked westward, dreaming of open plains, gold, and new beginnings. They called it manifest destiny, the belief that America was meant to stretch from the Atlantic to the Pacific. Expansion brought opportunity, but freedom for some meant chains for others. Native Americans were pushed off their lands, forced into reservations, and many lives were lost along the way. Slavery in the South grew, creating deep divisions that would soon tear the nation apart. Not everyone shared the dream, and the cost of progress was often hidden. Railroads spread across the continent, steel bridges rose over rivers, and factories filled the cities, changing the nation faster than anyone imagined. Families risked everything, facing harsh winters, rough terrain, and hunger, with wagons creaking and snow biting at their faces, all for the chance at a better life. America was growing, but so were the tensions, political, moral, and economic. And as settlers planted flags in new territories and trains connected distant towns, one truth became clear. The dream of a united, free nation was still fragile, and America's path forward would face tests no one could yet imagine, storms that would shake its very foundation. The dream of a united nation was being tested like never before. Tensions between North and South boiled over. Slavery, states' rights, and deep divides could no longer be ignored. Families were torn apart, neighbors became enemies, and the question of what freedom truly meant hung heavy in the air. Abraham Lincoln rose as a quiet but determined leader, carrying the hopes of millions, even as the country teetered on the edge of destruction. The first shots fired at Fort Sumter marked the beginning of a war unlike any other. America had to destroy itself to find its true self, and the cost would be unimaginable. Soldiers marched through fields thick with mud, cannon smoke filling the sky, the stench of gunpowder and fear everywhere. The country was broken, but the fight for freedom raged on. Every victory brought hope, every defeat left despair. The Emancipation Proclamation gave courage to millions, but the cost was staggering. Brothers fought brothers, towns burned, the land scarred, and smoke rose into the darkened skies, carrying grief and fury with it. Still, even in despair, hope flickered in the hearts of many. Yet through the pain and bloodshed, a nation began to understand that freedom could not be half given, and justice could not be partial. When the last shots rang out and the cannons fell silent, slavery was abolished, but the scars of war would linger for generations. And one truth emerged. America had survived its darkest hour, but the path to unity, equality, and true freedom had only just begun. After the Civil War, America was wounded but not broken. Cities rose from the ashes, factories hummed with life, and the nation's heart began to beat faster than ever before. Immigrants poured in, bringing hands ready to work and dreams bigger than the tallest smokestacks. Men like Rockefeller, Carnegie, and Edison built empires of oil, steel, and electricity, changing how people lived and worked. A nation once built by rebels was now being built by dreamers. Trains rattled across continents, machines roared in workshops, and the streets were alive with both hope and struggle. Yet progress came at a cost. Child labor, long hours, and dangerous conditions reminded everyone that innovation had a price. Families crowded tenements, streets smelled of smoke and sweat, and the gap between rich and poor grew wider by the day. Every new invention brought both wonder and challenge. Steam rose from city streets, whistles blew in factories, and lamps flickered in tenements, a mix of hope and struggle in every corner. Still, the promise of opportunity kept millions moving forward, chasing the American dream with relentless hope. Every skyscraper, railroad, and invention pushed the nation closer to dominating the modern world. And as lights flickered in factories at midnight and steam rose from city streets, one truth became clear. America was transforming and no one would stop its rise. By the early 20th century, America had grown stronger, richer, and hungrier for influence. When World War I erupted, the nation initially watched from afar, hesitant to get involved. The world was in chaos, and America's role would grow with every challenge. Soldiers crossed oceans and trenches, fighting through mud and barbed wire, letters home carrying fear, hope, and the longing for peace. A country built on freedom was now testing its strength on foreign soil. The war ended, but peace was fragile, and the nation faced economic booms and busts, roaring cities, and the shadows of the Great Depression. Then came World War II, and America could no longer stand on the sidelines. Factories roared day and night, producing tanks, planes, and weapons that would tip the balance of the world. Soldiers stormed beaches, flew across skies, and fought battles that decided the fate of nations. While families back home rationed, worked, and sacrificed every day, letters and whispers carrying both fear and hope across towns. After years of fighting, the country emerged stronger, but the scars of war were everywhere. America became a superpower, its economy unmatched, its military unchallenged, and influence reaching every continent. The world had changed, and America had changed it. Today, America stands as a superpower, its influence felt across the globe. Cities sparkle with lights, technology hums in every home, and ideas flow faster than ever before. From Silicon Valley to Wall Street, innovation drives the economy and satellites circle the planet, linking billions instantly. Yet power comes with challenges. Political divides, social movements, economic inequality, and global responsibilities remind everyone that strength is never guaranteed. The country faces challenges every day, but its spirit endures. A nation born from rebellion now shapes the world in ways its founders could never have imagined. Americans debate, vote, create, and protest, their voices echoing the same ideals that inspired freedom centuries ago. Wars, crises, and breakthroughs have tested the country, and yet it continues to evolve, adapt, and push forward. Schools and labs buzz with curiosity, streets hum with conversation, and communities rise to meet every challenge, big or small. America's story is still being written, a tale of ambition, resilience, and the endless pursuit of a better tomorrow. And as skyscrapers reach for the sky, rockets launch into space, voices rise in unison across cities and towns, and people everywhere continue to dream, create, and shape the future, one step at a time.